Well, what's up, guys? Brian here, the 3 Topics Gamer, here to share with you another one of my worst to best ranking videos to share with you guys today. Now, while I was brainstorming for future PlayStation video ideas, I was wondering what I could come up with. Now, I've already done a video going over my personal ranking of the PlayStation consoles and handhelds themselves in terms of my personal favorite. But I was wondering, what about the actual design of the consoles themselves? That's something I haven't done, so that's what this video is for. Now, before I get into this breakdown, I would just like to clarify that I'm strictly ranking the base models of each individual console. So basically the models that actually were released at launch. I will not be going into depth in terms of the extra versions, because as everyone knows, every single PlayStation model eventually gets a slightly different version after like a year or two. And you know, there's just so many different models. Now, if you guys would like me to do a tier style video going over all of them, I'll be happy to do that. Just let me know in the comments down below. But again, this video is focusing strictly on the base models, the models that were released at launch. So, without wasting any more time, if you happen to enjoy this video by the end, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, keep tracking me on my future video ideas. So, starting off with my least designed PlayStation console of all time, sadly, has to go to the one that did actually sell pretty well, but did have one major design flaw. And my least favorite design model of PlayStation has to go to the PlayStation Vita. Now, size-wise, it's a good handheld. This sold extremely well, had a very strong library. The problem is it had one serious major design flaw that they did eventually fix, but didn't seem to help all that much. And that is the fact that it doesn't have a second analog stick. There were so many great games that really could have benefited from having a second joystick. Just shooters, a lot of hack and slashes, just be able to move the camera. I mean, this is something that, you know, some games when they got poured over to like PlayStation 3, you know, that they managed to fix. But it's the fact that they didn't decide to add a second joystick really, really hurt this model. Now, don't get me wrong. Still has a lot of great games. It sold extremely well, but that's the one thing that I wish they would have added. But heck, as some people know, that is something they did happen to add in the improved model of the PSP. But that is ultimately my main reason why, to me, it is my least favorite PlayStation model out of all of them. Now, this one is probably going to surprise people, so you might want to, you know, prepare yourselves. But taking another step above that one is going to have to sadly go to the original PlayStation. Now, look, I love this console. Love the design. Very, very retro. It's very, very simple. Very, very basic. Very, very classic. I mean, heck, I love this model so much, I actually went out of my way to buy a pair of Paul George's shoes just to match with the console. So, trust me, this is classic. Love the design. The thing is that it's just a little bit too basic. It pretty much is the model that you really want to kind of compare all other models to. So this is pretty much the baseline. This one is the only one that is underdeveloped. This is the one all of the PlayStations should be compared to. This is how you do it. This is how you keep it basic, yet have a cool design. It's a very cool design, cool colors. I've seen people actually customize their PlayStations. It has a simple button that opens it. Very, very basic, simple, classic, retro, awesome, which is why it is where it's placed in my personal ranking. So that's why that's there. Now, taking the next step above that one is going to be followed up by the PlayStation Vita. This is easily one of the best designed portable console or handhelds ever made. This was exactly what I believe the PlayStation Portable should have been. It added the second joystick, and because of that, it was a much, much better designed portable device than the PSP ever could have been. Sadly, it didn't sell too well. There wasn't a lot of support towards it, and there were even some, let's say, tech designs and decisions that might have actually hurt its appealness to a wider audience. But for me, this is easily, without question, my favorite handheld device of all time. I mean, even more so than Nintendo Switch. And trust me, Nintendo Switch is great, but I would actually like something I can kind of fit in my pocket. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I bought a case for this, and it's cool and all, and I love it. But heck, I think a portable device should be able to fit in your pocket, and that's what this thing can do. So that's why I would place it, I believe, 5th on my list. Going into the number 4 spot is definitely going to surprise a lot of people, because I know a lot of people like this one. But I'm afraid taking the number 4 spot has got to go to the newest member of the family, and that is the PlayStation 5. Now, it's nice. The problem is this. Not only is this thing too damn big, this thing looks awful. This thing only, to me, just my opinion, this thing only looks good standing up. Like this. This thing looks horrible flat. In fact, this thing looks so horribly flat. I'm not sure if some of you guys actually saw the promotion, but in one of the promotion images released recently from Sony, they actually had this thing hanging upside down. I mean, even looking at it here, I don't know which side is up and which side is down. I mean, if it's like this, the disk drive should never be on the bottom. If you want to do it, you want to do it like this. But even this looks weird. And the fact that you have to have a stand on it just to keep it stable is not good. None of these need stands, but this one. I mean, it's kind of almost reverse aspect of like the PlayStation 1. Like, this thing is designed to be flat, and it looks good flat. This thing looks like it was designed to only be standing up. And because of its size, it is kind of problematic because this thing cannot fit in my entertainment system. Now, don't get me wrong. Maybe they want to make it so big to add to the ventilation. And it does have a really, really cool look. It looks like a router, which is cool. Very futuristic. Very customizable. I actually like that it came with the black and white because that you're just inviting people to customize it like I did. I mean, like, I made mine look like R2D2, and I think that's pretty cool. So, don't get me wrong. I like the design, but sadly, this thing is meant to only be standing up. It looks horrible flat. It is super big. But, again, I like it just not as much as past models. I mean, maybe they'll change it up with future models when they probably maybe will find a way to make this smaller. But this design is good. It's great, but it's not epic in my opinion. And there are 3 other PlayStation models that I would pick over this one, which is why it will take the number 4 spot on my list. And that thing is heavy. Now, going into the number 3 spot, sadly, is going to have to go to the original fat or original PlayStation 3, which I cannot show you because sadly, I do not own a original PlayStation 3 anymore. I had to pawn it many, many years ago, but I do happen to own a Slim and a Super Slim. But I actually did really like that design. I like the sleekness of the PlayStation 3. It was big like the PlayStation 4, but not nearly as big. Didn't need a stand. It looked good standing up and flat, which is what I like from my PlayStations. And I also really like the smoothness of the top. The smoothness of the top is what really sold it. And it actually had that dock point, especially in the originals. It actually opened up the original models that could actually play PlayStation 2 games and actually held the USB ports. And I believe that one could even hold memory card sticks, which was cool. So that is why I've really, really dug the original PlayStation 3 model. That is why it will take the number 3 spot on my list. Taking the number 2 spot on my list is going to have to go to our previous generation brother, and I even got a special limited edition version of this, and that is the PlayStation 4. I was at the E3 where this was revealed, and it is still as beautiful now as I first saw it all those years ago. I absolutely love the design of the PlayStation 4. I love the angles. The one thing I love about my consoles are just these sleek razor blade edges. It makes for such a beautiful shape. And again, this thing looks great flat and standing up. That is a major, major plus for me. And I actually like the how it kind of comes at like a slight angle. The buttons are simple. The USB ports are, they easily disappear. You don't have a button so that it opens up. And overall, I think even the back section with the fan is actually pretty well handled. So yeah, overall, the PlayStation 4 is a beautiful console, which is why it takes the number 2 spot on my list. But there can only be one king of the PlayStation design models, and it just so happens to be the best-selling console in history, and that has to go to the PlayStation 2. This thing has the benefit of having a classic retro look like the PlayStation 1, but very futuristic like something like the PlayStation 4. Like the PlayStation 4, and like, I believe, the PlayStation 3, this thing looks good flat and standing up. In fact, the PlayStation 2 is the only one that actually has this little icon that can actually switch. You can actually switch it from being flat to standing up. So they knew, right from the design, they knew this thing could actually look good standing up or down or flat or standing up. So that is a major plus. Again, like the PlayStation 4, I love these sleek angles. These angles were very much a part of the PlayStation 1 design, but this is made even better with this sleek jet black. It is just so simple, so basic, so cool, and so beautiful to display. It is why, even to this day, I have yet to see a PlayStation model that I have loved more than this one. Which is why it is my favorite PlayStation design model of all time. So, that is my ranking of all of the base form PlayStation model of consoles and handhelds. Now, if you had a chance to actually own all of these consoles, how would you rank them? Share your ranking with me and everyone else in the comments down below. And like always, thank you guys for watching. Awesome, and I'll see you next time.